Hello everyone, my name is SiC. Welcome back to Factorio. So today we are going to prepare our space platform for traveling to another planet. And for that we need the basics, of course, which I have already set up. But we also need guns. Now I already sent up some turrets and now we need to make sure that we put them where we need them, but as well that we have enough ammo to keep them running. I guess it's like that. And we'll need them split up around the edges everywhere as well. They're mostly going to be coming from the front, but they will also be coming from the sides, and I think they could even come from the rear, but I am not entirely sure about that last one. We'll have to see once we set these things in motion. Now, I did already, like I said, set up this entire setup that we are using to collect asteroids, that we are filtering out. These things only grab stuff off of the belt if this does not exceed 75. So yeah, there will be a maximum of 75 items on here. If there is more, because these things also output them again as trash, these things will activate. These things will activate and take them off, and I will throw them off into space. Like you can see that little chunk floating right there, and another one right there. We were exceeding our limit. So every once in a while this thing is going to take off the excess. But yeah, we need to start producing some ammo. And this space platform is actually a little bit small. We could probably do with an extension, because we also need to start producing fuel, and it's going to take some time to set this up after all, so I think it would be worthwhile to start working on this. Now let us put down some of these. Yeah, we could do it here and then have I don't quite like that, I guess. It's I'm a bit nitpicky. We have infinite space here actually, but I kind of just want to set this up in a way that is pleasing, but I could just also do it very simply and just put them in a row like that. Though then we need to have these things filter out in a different way. Right, you know what, we'll do it like this. It's not quite symmetrical, but we're going to make it work. This stuff is going to be making a regular ammo. We could send ammo up into space by rocket, but it is massively expensive. So you can see here, a rocket capacity is 100 magazines, which sounds like a lot until you have to travel really far in space, and then it's nothing. So you need to have a self-sustainable way of producing your ammo. Right, so this thing is going to curve back on itself. We're going to go underground. And these need to be a little bit further back actually, so that we can go like this. Right. Alright, we're setting this up. Every once in a while this expands whenever we receive new space platforms. I put in a splitter here, but we're still waiting for more transport belts to be sent upstairs. I don't know. Okay, we already sent these up. Now it is a question, of course, of making sure we have enough underground belts and that we have the space to bring this wherever we need it, which is, of course, a little bit tricky. Actually, this is kind of problematic, so we do need to expand a little bit forward. We don't want to block this stuff, because then that can't work anymore, but we need to bring these forward ever so slightly, or it's not going to fit. This is absolutely not symmetrical, but I've put down some extra solar panels so that we can see, or that we can make sure that we have enough electrical power. Everything else still needs to be brought up by rockets, so that's going to take a little bit of time. And another thing that we need to do is make sure that we have storage tanks up there, because yeah, we're going to have to make fuel pretty soon, and for that, let us see. Well, actually, we cannot make them quite yet. We need to research a planet, I assume, or actually we need to research the space platform thruster. Yeah, so for that we are going to eventually have ice melting. We need to make thruster fuel out of carbon and water, and we need to make thruster oxidizer out of iron ore and water. And we need to start making these as well, which we should be able to do. But in fact, we should probably now prioritize this one, so that we can actually progress out of here. Yeah, because these ones, we were using them before for space science, of course, which is still being made. We have full belts of this stuff. Like, this could be working faster, but it's not working quite fast enough. What we could do as well is get speed modules set up in all of these, so that they work ever so slightly faster. But this seems as well like it doesn't work quite fast enough. But we don't have electrical poles up here. But I'm assuming, for the moment, that we just don't have enough electricity. So we'll toss a few of these down. And hopefully that should also speed up the production. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Let's move her. It's not that much faster yet, but it is definitely better than what it was before. So that is one thing we should probably be able to reach somewhere. Oh, no, you can see the electricity at these at the bottom right here of the inserter, for example. It's fully green here as well, so this is perfectly fine. We have more iron ore and stuff like that than we can deal with. We could also send this down, and we could have essentially endless iron plates coming down from orbit, which is really, really cool. It does seem we are not producing enough iron plates, so we are going to double the production of this a little bit. But we need to leave a little gap of space here where we can fit in, well, yeah, where we can fit two belts. So we'll have an output over here. And I guess we'll have to redo this a little bit. So we have 5 on this side, 4 on that side. It's a bit uneven, but we'll survive. We'll do it like that, I guess. This is going to go out through the center. This is going to be over here. And then we'll have inputs and outputs, and yeah, like that. It will be nice. Except this one needs to be a 1 to the left, otherwise our plan doesn't work anymore. So again, not really symmetrical, but we'll make it work. These things are going to have to angle down a little bit, and then we can have this stuff coming around to the side. And then we actually need to find a way to get this on the bottom there, which should not be too difficult, but that doesn't quite make it. We can angle this one down. This one then also needs to curve downwards. Yeah, this would exit over here, and this would also, like, this is also kind of problematic. So this one actually maybe needs to be over to the left here a little bit, so we can have this one come out. And this one can go like this, underneath like so. These can then come out at the bottom, and that works perfectly. Alright, that is nice, that is good to see. No. I did it again. Crap. This kind of sucks because there's no way to undo it. You cannot go up there and suck out all the bad stuff on the belt, right? So that is kind of annoying. We will do it like that. And then we'll have these come out here at the bottom, and then we can start using them when we need to. Right, so we don't have enough to fill a rocket. We did just send something up here, it looks like. But we need more blue computer chips, which are also, of course, ever so slightly being produced, because we don't have enough green computer chips. We don't have enough green computer chips because we don't have enough iron plate production. Like, we are producing this, like, we're putting this in here as well, and it's still not enough. We need to copy paste this once again, I think, another time. Like so. Copy paste that over here. Put the splitter in there. It's going to go underneath here. That's going to go over here. Yeah. I guess we'll just output it onto the belt like that for now. And that will be okay. So this is going to be put onto here. It's not the greatest solution, but it's going to work, I think. Some of this is going to steal production, or we need to do this properly anyway, I guess. Let's do it the right way. Alright, so we'll have this extend over here just a little bit, so that we have space to make the little design that I always like to make. We'll have this one enter here, that one enter there, and then we will have a perfect split of this this thing right there being produced. Yeah. Alright. Working on the space platform thruster ever so slightly. Of course, the science is also not at maximum speed, I think, or actually it is. We have all of the bottles that we need, so that is really good. Purple and yellow are backing up because we don't actually need those for the space platform thruster. So, yeah, we'll do okay. Look at that. We have a lot of space science. We have thousands and thousands of bottles of this stuff, which is really interesting. And we never asked for more than 1,000 of this, so eventually this is going to completely back up. We'll have a train full of that stuff as well. Look at this. Actually, we're not backing this up into a chest, which is actually, now that I think about it, is really dumb, and I don't know why I didn't do that. So we'll fix that, because that is really dumb. That last one is going to go down like so. All right. Space thrusters are being made. The research is finished, obviously, so we are now producing these in, I don't know, what is the stack size of this? A stack size of 10. Yeah, that's more than enough. We don't need more production than that. So the Vulcanus rocket is now completely finished, except for the inserters, which are not being made enough. Well, we should have them. Or except, yeah, we forgot to put those into provider chests, apparently, which is really, really dumb. So we need to make sure that I have those actually in store. So I'm making them by hand and I'm throwing them into my trash for the robots, pick them up, and then they can use it, and then we can send inserters up there, and we'll have enough of them to supply all of our turrets with ammo. Then, now that we have thrusters researched, we can research different planets. And I think, for what we get, well, actually, we're not that much in trouble yet. But I think we get some nice things from Vulcanus, and that's also what we made it for. So let us actually select Vulcanus then and research it. We'll have to wait for the worker robot speed to be done, but that is very close to finishing. So we will continue building our rocket here. So now that we have thrusters, we need to send them into space. And this is, yeah, we have the kind of weird thing that you have like the blue stuff coming in at the top right and bottom left, and vice versa with the orange stuff. So that doesn't quite line up nicely. And some people, they make like a design where they have space platforms kind of sticking out a little bit, so that it lines up nicer. We could do that, I guess. I don't know how much we need though, so we'll start slow. And then we'll have one space thruster right there, and we'll have one space thruster right here, and then we'll have one over here later, I guess, and then we'll see, because now you can see like those orange ones, they line up a little bit nicer. So we'll have one over here, and like that, and can't quite do them properly in the center, I guess. Or this looks more or less space, and this will be fine. All right. Of course, we also need a bunch of pipes up here, and we need some underground pipes up here. So we'll request those as well, and we need the storage tanks to be sent up into space, because we'll need storage. And then again, this might still not be enough space for what we're trying to do here. But we are going to find out, because also, yeah, we probably need oil. So we need, yeah, we do need some kind of chemical plant up here as well. I do think. So we'll request those, and I'll have them made by hand and then sent up into space for now. Later, of course, we would want to automate all of those things, but our production is kind of failing in several regards already, and we don't want to push it too much. Yeah, look at that. This is nice to see, like, yeah, you have ore coming in, and then like it just completely drains and just stops working, but then we have this massive flow of iron plates coming into the steel manufactory. But we do need another train, I guess, to go to this one. We have 2 trains only on that one, so we'll leave that with 2 trains, and this one also has 2 trains, which is kind of weird. But yeah. Oh, dirty organics. Ugh. Alright. Robots are faster once again. Look at those bastards fly. That is so nice. I always love it when they become a bit faster, because, yeah, initially, like, they're great to have, they're awesome, but yeah, you just kind of have to wait for them to finish traveling to you, and that can take some time, especially in a factory this big. It's an absolute necessity, I would say, to have them, yeah, be a bit faster. I have extended the platform once again, because I already know I'm going to be in deep trouble just trying to get all of these things to fit for the fuel production. Now we have storage tanks coming in, so these will be built, and then we can remove them, because they will just be in storage in the space platform, and we can get started with the business, first of all, of making water. Now, water is not difficult to make, thankfully, but yeah, it does... let's see, we have to do it like that. I don't know how many I need, so let's just start with 4. It's just requiring ice, and these things are going to melt it. So all we need to do is we need to turn this thing around like so, and then we'll have some inserters, and then we'll have water. So then we just need to put some of that into the storage tanks, and I guess we'll do that over here, because there's not a lot happening. And we'll start with 6, I guess. I'm not sure how many I'm going to need. We'll have underground belt, or underground pipe, like so. And you can see that produces at a decent rate, but we left this space open so we can keep expanding. Now, to make... can we see that here somewhere? I guess not. Alright, so we'll just plop down some chemical plants. We need some chemical plants to make the red stuff, and we need a couple of them to make the blue stuff. I guess we can start over here. I guess we'll have some space for that. We'll leave some space for eventual turrets. We'll have 4 of these over here, and then apparently we've run out of chemical plants, and we're not making them automatically yet, so I'll make some by hand. But in the meantime, these ones are going to be making thruster oxidizer. For that they need water. So we'll help it up, and they need iron ore. So we need to get the iron ore from here down to here as well, which is manageable. We'll make it work. We'll have this actually come in like so. Go like that, and then we need some long-handed inserters, which I'm pretty sure we're not up here yet. These ones will then make the orange stuff. Well, we are now producing the necessary fuel, but look at that, we are not producing this at any reasonable type of speed. We do want to speed that up, so we'll have some of these speed modules put in, and I did measure out the distance between these things so that I could double the production of this. So I can flip this over to this side, have like the same setup that I have over here with the belts and the inserters and everything. So I can double the production of both of these if I need to, and I can of course also drag this over towards the left. But you can already see a small problem here. We don't have a lot of ice. There's basically a lot of iron coming in, there's a lot of that other stuff coming in. There's just not a lot of ice floating around out there, so that is kind of problematic. So yeah, it's going to take a while for these platforms to build up enough fuel to actually start traveling around. Meanwhile though, the research has finished, and we can travel towards Vulcanus as soon as we could possibly do that. So we'll do we'll research something useful, like steel plate productivity or mining productivity. Both of these really worthwhile, but yeah, let's do this one. Getting extra steel for free out of the production is really nice, because that is something that is lacking on Nauvis at the moment. But that is something that we'll be able to fix really easily on Vulcanus. Now, we are lacking a little bit in the production of this stuff. Actually, we have plenty. What we're lacking is enough blue computer chips to actually build the rockets to send into space, because we have sent up a ton of these things. So let's say this first one finished 57 rockets. I had to look there for a second, but that is just absolutely crazy. And this thing is requesting 50 speed modules, and it's going to send speed modules up there. This one is now requesting the space platform foundations, and we'll finish this, and then we'll put in the thrusters again. And with that, our thing is now complete, and we can actually send this in different directions. So just like the trains, we have these stations, and we can say Vulcanus. And we can do this on an automatic thing, or we can just send it there. But I don't know, I don't think I want to travel there, want it to travel there on its own. So what I want to do is actually I want to be on here and send myself to that planet as well. It's going to be a long time though before I can come back down and fix my problems here. So everything here needs to be able to be done by robots. And I think that we're okay for that. I think we can manage. All of our stuff is self-sufficient, right? It is well taken care of in terms of resources and repair packs and all of that stuff. We have enough power. I think we can manage. So to do that, Actually, we need to drop absolutely everything. So we're going to turn off personal logistics. And we need to get rid of everything. So we're going to drop all of this into boxes, which is really, really painful. We cannot even take ammo. And I think we might not even be able to take weapons, but we'll see. We have a rocket ready. I can travel to the space platform by myself to the Vulcanus rocket. And look at that, I am now in that little pod at the top. And we're going to launch ourselves into space, and we're going to have a really cool animation for that. That is actually a really, really nice one. Because we're going to follow this rocket all the way up, then we're going to see ourselves get shot out of here. Look at that. We see ourselves get shot out of here. That rocket is gone. It falls back to Nauvis or whatever, and we are now landing on our space platform that we just built. And I am literally in here. I cannot move, I cannot get out of here. This is all I can do. But we can now send ourselves to Vulcanus, and look at that. Look at that beautiful fire effect. And of course, as soon as I press the button, things start breaking down on Nauvis, but yeah, it's been doing that since forever basically. So that's fine. Now we do see these meteorites over here, and if they get too close, our turrets are going to have to deal with them. They're going to blow those up. Oh, here we go. We have a test. Look at that. And because we shoot these, they also drop more of these items that we can now pick up and get iron and oxide and ice from. Especially ice is really important. I want to have more ice. And I also realized, oh man, look at that. That is quite a few. And this is the kind of crazy thing, right? We have the space map. We are at Nauvis. This is where we started. We are going to Vulcanus. We're halfway there right now. Gleba is over here, but the other two planets, Fulgora and Aquilo, are over here. This one is really quite far away, but then we have the solar system edge. And then, far from there, you have the shattered planets, which you can also reach for special resources. And that is a huge, huge challenge. But we are doing pretty fine here. Look at that, our thruster, oxidizer and stuff like that is going down, obviously, like these 5 things. You know, create more speed, but they also use up more fuel. But we are very close to reaching the planet. And basically, yeah, we have arrived. If we look at the space map, we are now at Vulcanus, and we can drop to the planet. So, with that same type of animation, we shoot ourselves out of there. And we are going to land. Look at that. That is so fucking cool. Never really get tired of looking at that. It's animated much better than you might initially think. And we have landed on a new planet. Look at this. Vulcanus. A completely volcanic planet. And it has a different setup in terms of its terrain generation as compared to Nauvis. Yeah, look at this. We have all of these burnt trees. We can pick them up. We don't get wood from them. We get carbon. And carbon, of course, we use to burn iron. Now, I could send this thing back to Nauvis. We're not going to do it automatically. Hold on. You're going to wait here. Right? You're not going yet? No, good. We can also set the limit for this, like you need to have X amount of thruster fuel and oxidizer before you can do anything. But yeah, we could send it back once it has enough materials or enough fuel to do so. Look at that, you can see the expected resources. Out of each rock we now get copper ore, iron ore, stone and tungsten ore. So, we are going to have to do a lot of harvesting here. The tungsten ore is unique to this planet. We don't have iron patches, we don't have copper patches, we don't have any of that stuff. Which is really, really interesting. Right, so we can now make tungsten carbide and we can make carbon down here on the planet as well. Oil and stuff like that is a little bit interesting as well. We have a huge coal patch over here. And we have sulfuric acid coming out of geysers that we have not quite reached yet. And one thing you may have also noticed is that, yeah, this red territory. And what is in that red territory, you may ask? Well, we have huge, enormous worms. Basically sandworms. They might remind you of June a little bit, even though that is exactly what the developers did not want you to be thinking about. But, you know, you see a giant worm coming out of the earth, you think June. So, too bad. There's not much you can do about that. But basically we don't have biters on this planet. Pollution doesn't matter. But as soon as we start building in these territories belonging to these worms, we will be in enormous trouble. Because they will immediately go on the warpath. They are enormous, they have super thick hides, and they regenerate health like absolute crazy. So that is definitely an interesting challenge. Basically, to kill them you need to do an enormous amount of damage in a very short period of time. But maybe that's a little bit overkill. We're not going to be able to have all of these running, but yeah. Alright, we'll put some of this in here, and we need to start collecting more of this. And basically I'll be doing this for a long time unless I start sending things here by myself. Like I can send iron plates here, I can send copper belts, or I can send belts here, and I'm going to have to do that because otherwise it's going to take forever. And I did it once, and you can do it. You can absolutely start from scratch. Like if my Nauvis base was to be killed right now, absolutely no problem, because we can build up an entire factory here as well. We have some fuel saved up again, so we're going to send this back to Nauvis. This is kind of annoying though, because I definitely do not want this to be automatic the whole time. I just want you to go there and then wait and do nothing. But we can add a wait condition that says all requests satisfied, and then we can request some materials here. Like we can request belts, and we'll say we want 1,000 belts. We want to have 150 splitters, and we want to have 150 underground belts. We definitely want to have big electrical poles. We'll take I don't know, 150 of that. Well, we need medium electrical poles as well, and we'll take 250 of those because we don't have wood on this planet, right? So we cannot actually make small electrical poles, which is also a little twist. We are going to need some pipes, but we can actually make those ourselves. That is not going to be too much of a problem. What we do need is inserters. We'll do 200 regular inserters. We'll have some fast inserters. 200 as well. We'll unload over here. Long-handed inserters, because I don't want to be making all of that stuff by hand all the time, you know. We'll get some lights as well. 100 lights. Now, I think this is coming to a stop stand still. Yes, indeed. So it has arrived back at Nauvis. And now it is going to start requesting all of these things. So these are going to be shots off from Nauvis. Look at that. That one is requesting 100 fast transport belts. So to get my 1,000 transport belts, I need 10 rockets. Which is nuts. Like all of these. Look at that. That's 4 rockets just with 400 belts. So it's going to take a little bit of time, right? Now in the meantime, I did make these again, so that we actually can produce enough coal to keep all of this running. Now we do have this, but we cannot smelt that in the same thing, if I remember correctly. We can also not make steam because there is no water on this planet. And there is a way for us to get it, but it just works a little bit differently. So we, for that, have calcite processing, which we do need to research by mining calcite. And then we get acid neutralization, steam condensation, and simple coal liquefaction. But we need to find calcite, and I haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to start running around a little bit In the meantime, I am going to be getting trees and stuff like that because we need carbon, and then I'll be right back. Alright, we have found calcite. It is up here in the top right, not super far away, and I mined a bit of it. So now we have access to the next recipes. We have the simple coal liquefaction, which requires coal, calcite and sulfuric acid and to make heavy oil, and then we can make the other products from there. We have acid neutralization, which requires sulfuric acid, which we can pump directly from the acid geysers, as well as calcite, and then we'll get steam. And of course that steam could be turned into water, but we can also put that steam directly into the steam engines, the big steam engines that we've been using. Solar panels are also useful, as well as accumulators, because we are in a planet closer to the sun, and that means that the solar panels are actually more useful here, which is really, really cool. Alright, so we'll keep feeding these. I have also set up steel smelting very quickly because I am going to need pump jacks, and we are going to need pump jacks for the sulfuric acid. We are going to have to make some tanks, and basically, yeah, we really have to keep doing this for a bit. I have to keep mining these rocks until my ship comes back to me, and then we can yeah, unload some useful materials for us to kickstart our building. The Vulcanus rocket is ever so slowly, ever so slowly receiving the materials that we have requested. All of the fast transport belts are on board. Fast splitters are on their way. Fast underground belts are already here, and then the other things also are going to take some time. But in the meantime, I am still on this planet, and I have gathered enough materials to make some solar panels. Now, we will not be able to make accumulators until a little bit later, but that's not much of an issue for right now. I do need a few more iron plates so that I can make more storage tanks. I already put one down, and I need to make some medium electrical poles as well. At first, this is of course going to be a bit of a weird, ugly setup, and later we're going to expand on it, but for the moment I want to keep everything relatively close, of course, because yeah, we don't have a lot of materials to work with yet. So we'll do it like this. I do need underground pipes, but this can go to sulfuric acid, and then we need to neutralize that in a chemical plant. So I also need to make enough stuff to make a chemical plant. It's going to take a little bit longer, but we're well on our way. Oh, we found one of the worms. Look at that. Oh, I need to stay away from that a little bit. I'm not doing enough damage to piss this thing off, but otherwise he would just come after me. But this is the personal laser defense that I have. But yeah, it's not a dune worm, but it is definitely a worm that comes out of the ground and reminds you of Dune a little bit. But yeah, this thing has crazy resistances. You can see that on the right, the small segments. 20% electronic defense, 99 against explosion, 100 against fire, 100 against impact, laser 100%, so basically my personal laser defense does no damage. Poison works, and then physical does a little bit. We are doing well here still, sure, okay. But yeah, I was just scavenging for rocks to mine so we can have more materials, but look at that as well. Like this dust cloud that leaves behind interferes with your equipment. So there are some things, like look at that, it slows me down. I'm losing my speed as a result of that cloud. And it is really annoying. But it's also part of his attack. So once he starts attacking, he's going to come straight at you, but his movement is also going to upset the earth enough that you will have magma explosions coming up all around you at random, which you need to be dodging. So it's honestly quite fun, but yeah, they're a bit tricky to deal with. Oh, and there's another one. Ah, but that is... Oh, I see. Oh, this is weird. There's a territory here, and it seems that this is another territory. So each territory is owned by a single worm. And yeah, they leave you alone. They don't care about us until we start building in this territory. We can mine here, we can walk around here, it's no problem, but we absolutely cannot build anything or he's going to go on the warpath. But yeah, so we have 3 worms in relative proximity to each other. Oh yeah, there's the other one. Look at that. Holy crap. So worm 1, worm 2 and worm 3 is over here in this territory somewhere. Crazy. Alright, I put down some solar panels. They, yeah, it's turning into night now, so they're not producing anything anymore. But we have some sulfuric acid already built up, and now we just need to connect it to this, yeah, to this storage tank. That's what I'm looking for. So we have that, and now we need to make enough materials to make chemical plants, so we can turn that into steam, and that will be really nice. Yeah, we can make 1. We need a little bit more, so we'll turn some of that iron into steel, and hopefully we can make a second one. I need 2 more steel plates, so that is perfect. We have 2 chemical plants lined up, and we should now, as soon as I make 2 more medium electrical poles, this looks super weird, but yeah, it's going to be okay in the long run. We are going to be having steam power once again, but just in a completely different way, which is really cool. We don't want to be making the same recipes again, you know, but just on a different planet, because that sucks. That is boring as hell. But we need the calcites. Haha, here we go. I did mine it already, but yeah, we basically would need to make a long belt from here down to there. We're not going to be able to do that initially, I don't think. We'll grab some calcite. We'll do this by hand for the moment. We'll grab 2 boxes. And we have to redo this ever so slightly. Needs to be up by 1, like so. We'll make another one of these. We need to make 2 long-handed inserters. And then we'll place chests here and here once we demolish that chimney. And we'll grab some out of here, and then we'll put some in there. There we go. This has now started producing steam for us, which is now going to be pumped out into the steam engine, and look at that, we now have working power, which is awesome, because that is the start of automation, right? This is good stuff. But we have been playing for some time now already, so I want to put an end to the video right here. Thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like and a comment below if you enjoyed this content and wish to see more. And I'll see you guys for whatever video I do next.